Well, it's a rainy and gloomy day here at the Buddh International Circuit, but that's not gonna dampen my spirits because any time at the track is a good time. And I'm here to experience the all-new Honda ZR-V. So the ZR-V is Honda's first hybrid SUV in India, and it's one of very first global models that's gonna come to our country. And it's really gonna serve as a halo product for the brand, as a brand builder, to see what we can expect from Honda in the coming years. So it's a hybrid SUV, which means it uses a 2-liter direct injection petrol engine in tandem with 2 electric motors for a combined output of 184 horsepower and 315 Newton meters of torque. Now you might be asking yourself, why am I driving a hybrid SUV out here on the track? Well, Honda positions it as a sports hybrid, which means that the hybrid system is not only for efficiency but for performance as well. And as such, 0 to 100 is done in under 8 seconds. And efficiency doesn't take a hit either. Honda claims this will do 22.8 kilometers per liter.
The engine runs on the more efficient Atkinson cycle and power is channeled to the front wheels only. As mentioned, it's paired with 2 electric motors for a total system output of 184 horsepower and 315 Newton meters. And all that torque is made right from standstill, so the ZR-V feels quick off the line and on the move too. It responds keenly to throttle inputs, and that can be altered as well.
So there's 3 drive modes for you to choose from. There's Eco, Normal and Sport, and they don't really have an effect on the output of the car, but they do alter the response. So as you can expect, Sport modes feels the most responsive and the most immediate, and Eco is for the most efficient. So when you're driving at slow speeds with light throttle inputs, the ZR-V will stay in EV mode as long as possible. But if you press on the accelerator a little hard, then the engine kicks on and you move into hybrid mode. Now in hybrid mode, the electric motor is still powering the wheels with the engine acting as sort of a generator. And then you have the engine drive mode, which is specifically used at higher speeds. That's when the engine is directly powering the wheels. But unlike in certain other hybrids, there's not a physical way that you can select which mode it is in. It's like you can't have it in EV mode if you wanted to. That the car decides for itself, and it really depends on all your throttle input and obviously the charge status of the battery. Now when you look at it from the outside, you'll see that the ZR-V has a very swoopy sort of silhouette. You know, it's not your typical upright SUV, which obviously helps with aerodynamics, but it also helps with keeping the center of gravity low, which means that it's really good fun around corners. Out here on the track, it feels very eager to change directions. The steering has really good feel. I have a very good idea of what the front wheels are doing. And yeah, overall it feels very planted around bends. So yeah, it is fun out here on track. You even get paddle shifters, but these are obviously not for the gears because it has an eCVT gearbox. Instead, they control the levels of regen braking. Even the brakes feel nice and progressive, and they have a good bite and decent feedback as well. Now, as is the case with any hybrid, the powertrain feels very seamless. Even the changes in the modes is barely perceptible. You won't be able to tell if it's in pure EV or in hybrid. The engine is also so nice and silent and refined. And even road and tire noise is well contained. Now, obviously, this is a sort of first drive impression. It's not a full-blown review because we haven't got a chance to experience it out in the real world. But we will do that very soon and give you all the performance figures and the fuel efficiency figures as well.
So that was a brief taster of how the Honda ZR-V drives. And now, here's a look at it inside and out.
So the ZR-V is coming to India straight from its home market in Japan, and it is a CBU import. So yes, it is going to be expensive. Prices are expected to be around in the 40 to 50 lakh range, and it is going to rival other SUVs like the VW Tayron and the Skoda Kodiaq. Now let's quickly talk about the styling of this SUV. As you can see, it is a very rounded sort of SUV and not your typical upright stance like you see on the Elevate, for example, and it's all of clean surfaces. So right here in the front you get this big grille here with vertical slats, like blacked out vertical slats and the Honda logo up here on the top, and it's flanked by these slim LED headlamps with this L-shaped DRL signature. Now here on the sides you'll see that it gets some nice stylish 18-inch alloy wheels that are finished in this dual tone effect, and the mirrors are also mounted on the doors and not on the pillar. And it's also here from the side that you'll be able to tell that it's not your typical upright and butch SUV. As you can see, it doesn't really have any body cladding. There is some around the wheel arches, but that's also finished in body color. There aren't any roof rails, and the crossover stance is really emphasized by this sort of swooping roofline here at the rear. So here at the rear also, it's pretty straightforward styling. There's nothing much flashy about it. So you get these clear lens LED lights here, the ZRV badging here, and the EHEV badging there. You also get dual tailpipes, and yes, this tailgate is electrically operable, and it also has a kick function, so you can open it with your legs when your hands are full of groceries, for example. The boot is also fairly large, as you can tell, but there is no spare tire, and a lot of the space under the boot floor is taken up by the hybrid battery. But when you do fold the second row down, you get 1,313 liters of boot space.
On the whole, the ZRV styling comes across as subtle and not striking. And given its dimensions of just over 4.5 meters in length and 1.8 meters in width, it doesn't quite have the presence of its rivals. And it also doesn't help that Honda is offering it in only 4 colors, all of which are subdued.
Now here inside the ZRV, it's a typical Honda affair, and what that means that it's a practical and a high quality place to be. I really like that the dash is low set, so you get a great view out of the cabin, and you get loads of soft touch materials around as well, like here on the dash top, here in the center console, and also here on the door. What's also nice is that you get this honeycomb trim sort of insert here that looks cool, and it's segmented by the silver trim in the center. The touchscreen is small by today's standards. It's only 9 inches in size, but it's nice and bright, and I like that you get physical controls for the audio, the back and the home buttons. And speaking of, there are physical controls all around this place, which I really appreciate. So these dials for the AC, they are very satisfying to operate. They have this nice click sort of thing that's happening and feels really good. You also have loads of buttons here in the center console. There is no traditional drive selector. Instead, you get buttons for your park, your reverse, your drive, and there's sort of like a toggle switch here to toggle between drive modes. You also get a fully digital instrument cluster here. It's a 10.25-inch unit, highly customizable again, and it shows you all sort of data and how the powertrain is running, what mode you're in, and other things like that.
The seats are comfy and well padded, and there's plenty of storage spaces inside too.
Now speaking of the features, this touchscreen, like I mentioned, is 9 inches, and you get wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay here. You also get a 360-degree camera, you get a wireless phone charger. The seats are wrapped in leatherette upholstery. They are powered 8-way for the driver, 4-way for the passenger, and they have a memory function as well. But there are some important misses when it comes to features, like there is no ventilation function, which is sort of important in our climate, especially at this price point, and there's no sunroof as well. There's ADAS level 2 here, so you get things like autonomous emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, and the whole lot, and there's 8 airbags as well. Here's a look at the complete features list.
There's also a Bose audio system, wireless phone charger, and powered tailgate. But on the whole, the ZRV's equipment list leaves more to be desired.
Now getting into the back seat is a fairly easy affair. Sure, the sill is a bit high, but then the seat is quite low set, so entry and exit is quite easy here in the back seat of the ZRV. Now the low seating means that you are sat in a bit of a knees up position, but what's nice is that there's plenty of room for you to stretch your legs out, especially under the front passenger seat. Now this passenger seat is set to my position. I'm 5 feet 11, and as you can tell, leg room is plentiful, and so is headroom. But for some taller passengers, that might be tight, and that's thanks to that sort of coupe-like roofline that you see. Other than that, you get AC vents here at the rear, you get Type-C charging ports, there is a fold-down armrest with cup holders, and it's also nice to see that all 3 passengers here get 3.0 seat belts and individual headrests as well.
The rear seat can fit in 3 adults in comfort, though rear sunblinds are a miss. So that's the Honda ZR-V for you. It has its downsides, like the missing features, its relatively compact footprint in light of its European rivals, and being a full import, it is going to be expensive as well. But it has a practical, comfy and well-finished interior and comes with a smooth and seamless hybrid powertrain that is quick and promises to be efficient as well. But what do you think of the Honda ZR-V? Let us know in the comments and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already.